Well, now that we've constructed the points of concurrency on compass and straight edge, we're going to do this on Sketchpad. We'll try to keep this as pure as we can, but we may have to take advantage of the computer's abilities in some places. So this time I'm showing you the tools we've got. You can see the top, and I've got some custom tools for you here. And really, it's a blank drawing, except for the custom tools I made for you. And honestly, you could work without them. So you could do this from a blank drawing. We're going to start with 3 lines, not segments, but lines. 1, 2, 3, because that of course makes a triangle. Now, I'm going to select up here in my display, I'm going to make them dashed. And if you're on version 5, you've got a lot more choices up there. You may have to select the different thicknesses and the different sizes. If you start with something like this, I can see my triangle, and you're going to, well, you know from your constructions, we need the extension of the lines in the event that the triangles go obtuse. But let's select the 3 vertices, construct triangle interior. Ooh, that's way too dark. And you're going to have to change the color. And I don't care what it is, but it needs to be dark enough that you can spot the triangle, but light enough that you can see through it. And well, if you want, you can label your vertices. Ooh, that's wasn't expected. I guess I used the 3 points already. You could change it to A, B, C, or E, F, G as you wish. So there you go. We've got a random triangle. And again, we're not going to draw the sides in until much later, much later. And let's go with the classic. We'll go in the order of appearance, and I want you to color code them to match mine. That is, if you're in my class, at least, so that when I check them, I can see the perpendicular bisectors in red, etc. This is the order we saw them in our textbook. Now, again, there's shortcuts for doing this, but we're going to go old school. We're going to connect or draw circles with our perpendicular bisector construction. And you say, wow, the intersections are off the page. Well, I know they are, so you can resize. You can resize your figure whenever you need to. You've got your 2 circles, and that would be the perpendicular bisector of EG. Now, you could use this tool. If you want, you can use the stock perpendicular or the stock line. That actually works a little bit better, but you can also use this. I made a little line for you if you like the cute little arrows on the end. So snap it to those 2 points of intersection. Again, make sure you've got those 2 points of intersection. Now we're going to get a lot of circles on here, so we're going to hide them as we go. I'm going to check your drawings. I'm going to show all hidden, so keep you honest. But right now, I'm going to hide the 2 circles and this intersection. So Command H, you'll be doing that a lot. And let's do the other 2. See, it helps to have a small triangle at this point. And again, I'm going with the custom tool because it looks pretty. And now hide your construction marks. And one more. Right there. Now we could have hid these on a button, but well, more about buttons in a little bit. So I've got those 3, my 3 perpendicular bisectors, and they're going to meet at a single point. And I'll snap a point there. And of course, I could bring that up with a letter, but how about if we just do this? What if we just type the word circumcenter? And it's far too big. We'll color it red so it matches our color code here. And we'll make it small. Pick something reasonable. 18. Yeah, that might work. Now again, here's the shortcoming of using these custom lines. If I make this intersection disappear, see, it disappears there, but you can live with that. So right there, that's the intersection of the three. Oh, I forgot to mention that Sketchpad, if you haven't noticed, doesn't recognize concurrency of 3. It really just attached to 2. I'll show you when we get to the next one. Now, this is going to get cluttered even without the construction marks. So what I want you to do is carefully select all these components, and we're going to put them on a little button to hide. And this is how we do it. I guess it's harder here because I got these funny little arrows. And I'm going to hold down the Shift key. I'm just going to select, make sure I got my little arrows in there too. See, if you use the regular line, you wouldn't have to do this. Not the circumcenter, not the point. And now go to Edit, Action, Hide Show. It's going to give you an opportunity to make this little button here. Maybe we'll put it over here. And I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to change the name. And what are we going to call those? Perpendicular bisectors, or P bisectors for short. So now, see, I can make them come, make them go like that. Nice. Now, we can work on our next construction. For this one, I'm going to make the triangle a little bit bigger because now I want my angle bisectors. Now, angle bisectors, these are going to, well, might be problematic. I've debated giving you a true construction versus the shortcut, but well, we'll go with a true construction. We're going to make our circles. You might want to make them reasonably big, and I'll show you why. This is the angle bisector construction. Okay, I'll do it again if anybody missed it. I should be talking through it. Random circle. I'm doing the angle bisector at angle FEG. Snap from E to a random point. Then from here, I'm going to construct a circle to here, from here, back to here. Now we've done this on paper. So all we need to do is draw a ray from E to this intersection. And again, make sure you hit it correctly. You can change the size of this. That's your construction. You could use this tool, the ray, like this, or I made a little pink ray for you. It's really magenta, but how about that? Now, these construction marks can get out of the way or can get carried away, but watch what happens when you resize the triangle. See, it may affect the size of the construction marks. Actually, right here. And I'm worried about them disappearing. So before you hide them, let's make them reasonably big. And then carefully hide the 3 circles. All that stuff. Just like that. Why? Because we're going to do it again and again. Angle bisector, watch how easy it is. 1, 2, 3. Custom tool, G, intersection. Now always be careful in case you think you're not snapping to the right thing. Well, resize, change your figure up. See, look at that. I've got this one. And now I'm going to hide my construction marks. And hope that it doesn't fall apart. And again, that's 2 of my 3 angle bisectors. You know, and I'm going to get rid of these points too, because those are just construction marks. Let's construct our third and final at the F. And notice I'm not drawing the point in advance. I'm just being very careful to snap to it and that they light up. Right there. hide them all, hide them all, hide them, and hide them. So I've got 3 angle bisectors done with classic construction. And again, I'll snap a point there. You probably noticed I've been doing that by using the pointer tool instead of the point, because it really does work either way. But I should be teaching you this. And look at that. See, now there's these 2, back away, these 2, these 2. There's only 2 of the 3 angle bisectors being selected because that's all Sketchpad can recognize. So as long as 2 are lit up, you're okay. Snap the point. And of course, you're going to put it here and you're going to call it in center. And you're going to color it magenta. And just like we did before, let's select these 3. Action button, hide show. And we're going to call those the angle bisectors. We're getting there. But the in-center itself remains. So now you've got these 2 magic points that just float around the triangle. Now the next one's going to be a piece of cake. The next one's really easy. The medians, because we've already done the construction for it. I'm going to highlight my perpendicular bisectors again. Because as you recall, the perpendicular bisectors, well, they're perpendicular and they bisect. This is the bisector of EG. Therefore, this is a midpoint. So I'm going to snap the 3 midpoints. 1, 2, 3. Move it around, make sure they... See, now of course, Sketchpad could have made a midpoint for you, but see, don't you feel better? We constructed our midpoints. And now we're just going to go to our old school segment tool. And we're just going to draw segments from there to there. But we're going to make them thick segment. I think it's medium on 5, Sketchpad 5, and green to match our intention there. From G to the other opposite side, from E to the opposite side. And that would be the 3 medians. Let me hide my bisectors for a minute. Now, I'm always trying to resize my figures so I don't hit anything by mistake. I want this concurrency point. Again, only 2 of the 3 are lighting up. There's 2. I click on that, and I'm going to call that the centroid. And I want you to color it in text green. Now, I'm going to hide these midpoints really because, well, actually I think we're going to leave them up for now because we're going to need them if we want to put in little fun tick marks on our drawing. Notice we haven't even put the sides on the triangle yet. So let me select these 3. And we'll call these the, what do we call these things? Oh yeah, the medians. So now I've got the 3 points of concurrency and the 3 midpoints of the triangle highlighted. Now the next part is the most disappointing part of this, and it's the reason we're still using lines instead of segments. It's the altitudes. I toyed with, I'm going to first show you the pure construction, but then I'm sad to say it's not going to work. The pure construction would be, so I'm setting this obtuse because as you remember, see now my circles have gone, have gone dark or gone large there. A pure construction, for example, would look like this. And then from here to here, and here to here. Maybe I could resize that. And I would connect this point to this point. That would give me an altitude. That would be a pure construction. Unfortunately, it's going to fail when I resize, when I move my figure around. It just changes too much. So we're going to do this I'm going to delete that. Actually delete. Delete. Be careful deleting. We're going to do it the cheapskate way. I'm going to rely on the perpendicular postulate where for any line, e.g., and then click on F, and any point F not on e.g., I go to construct perpendicular line. Yeah, seems like cheating, but we're going to take it. Now, let's see, let's make this thing blue for now. We're going to make it thick, but just the segments. Watch this. So that's one of the three, sorry. And that's why we have to be snapping it. We have to have lines and not segments, because the altitude can be outside the figure. Well, let's get the other two. Here's FG, opposite vertex, construct perpendicular line. Let's take G, opposite side, construct perpendicular line. Now at this point, I can snap this intersection, and we're going to call it the orthocenter. And we're going to color that blue. That's our color code. Now, again, the orthocenter can be outside or inside. This is where we're going to do something a little different. We're going to select the segment tool. I want you to paint over from there to there. And let's make that a thick line from there to there. Because after all, the altitude of a triangle is really the segment from the vertex to the opposite side that's perpendicular to the opposite side, or extension of opposite side. And there you go. We're in good shape. Now you can leave the dashed lines there if you like. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we should get rid of them. Yeah, that's kind of cluttered. We can hide them. Again, you can't delete them. Hide them, and see the orthocenter can still be outside. You can visualize that these three altitudes converge outside the figure. And now we're going to have to, actually it's time to start putting in some fancy pants things. Now we're going to put a button. We're going to put these on a button as well. And we'll call these altitudes. Okay. Now, we're just about done with everything. There's a couple observations you can make. Oh, actually, we're not done. We've got a few other things to do. And you could put these on buttons or not. How did I forget this? We have to go back to our circumcenter, which we know is over here. Oh, it's this point. And we have to give ourselves, let's give ourselves a big red circle, since that is the, that big red circle there. And I'm going, well, it's not very red, so let's change it. Since our perpendicular bisectors weren't red. And I could draw this. I'm going to draw this. I might do this, I could do this in red too. Because this is the radius of the circle containing 3 points. And you get that in your textbook a lot. And if you want to, okay, you can do these really neat things here. Where I've got these little side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you want to call this side 4, for instance. Oops. And you could put the little tick marks in there, like that. And again, you can put all these things on buttons as well, but I'm going to leave that to your creativity. And those are just giving me congruence marks, showing me that those 3 segments are congruent. Now again, we need something for the in-center. The in-center is a little tricky because we don't snap it to just anywhere, that circle. All I'm going to do is select the in-center. Make sure we're not selecting anything else. Just triangle like this. There's my in-center. Select one of the 3 sides. Construct a perpendicular line. All we need is this 1 point. I'm going to hide that line now. Okay, I'll draw it in with a segment. This time I'm going to make it a magenta segment. Because now this segment will match this triangle. Now let's make that magenta. And if you'd like, you can use a different tick mark there. Wrong color. And you can put, and let's see, you can see if you can figure out how to put the other ones in. Now be careful, don't snap to that one. That's a coincidence. You have to be careful. You gotta be really careful here that you don't, that you don't make any false conclusions. See, I'm going back to the side 5 thing. I'm gonna draw one there. Make it magenta. And here, let's see if that snaps. Wow. Those are some funny looking tick marks. Well, that's because the conventional 3, which I've kind of left off, I want to outline my triangle. And I could do that. You know, I forgot how I wrote these, so let's have a quick look here. For side 1, 2, 3. For side 1, I like that segment being, well, let's make that black for the exterior and for this. So I kept track that these were the midpoints of the triangle, maybe for side 2. You remember those midpoints? So you can dress this up as much as you can. Take this as far as you want. I don't know how pretty we can make it. And, wow. We've also got the angle bisectors we can put in there. You know, I'm going to hide this because this is getting in my way. And you see very carefully I'm selecting all these pieces. I'm going to select this. And maybe call that the circumcenter. Put it next to the perpendicular bisectors. And how about this one? And I might want to hide that one too. Oops. Make sure you get all the components. Edit, action button, hide show. We'll call that one the in-center because that's what it is. Wow. So you could stop here, but I know some of you just love to do more of this cool stuff. So let's suppose we put in the angle bisectors. You can come in here and put in the tick marks. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3. Remember, we wrote them this way. 1, 2. Oh, careful, see. Now back off, come back to it. And that little trick, you're saying, what's going on there, Mr. Banish? Well, let me show you. We'll do it again for angle tick 2 up here. 1, 2, 3. 1 is the vertex. 2 is one side, and 3 is the next side counterclockwise. We see it's grabbing the line. So I back away, I come back, and it goes for the segment. And let's see, I could put this one in. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Although now I'm all messed up because I need to modify my angle bisectors. I could do this and then add my angle bisectors very carefully onto that button. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. The easiest thing at this point is to hide the triangle. Don't delete it. This is how you add something onto a button. You've already got an angle bisectors button. You do that, everything is selected. Now you hold down your shift and you carefully add to it. And I'm sweeping there. And now I've selected all the components. So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to create another action button. And see, that's a better angle bisectors button. I'll get rid of this one. Delete. Angle bisectors. There we go. Nice. And gosh, this is, all right, we're already at 26 minutes of instruction. And let me show you one more thing. If you want to start putting in the right angles might be tricky. Again, you've got to, you've done this before, you've got to draw a lot of segments, but you might be able to put in some right angles. Click 1, 2. Now see, it won't work. Okay, we can fudge the computer this way. But this is a problem. This is just computer. This isn't really math. It needs segments 1, 2, 3, like that. So you can play around with those, but honestly, I'm not that bothered if you can't get the perpendicular marks in. They're a little bit of a pain if we want to have a dynamic triangle. So I can restore my triangle. But more importantly, I want you to make an observation. You've got all these fancy points. And, okay, I'll give you a hint. 3 of the 4 are collinear. So I want you to draw a line. And see which ones are they. If I start from here, look at that. Look at that. The orthocenter, the centroid, and the circumcenter. Always collinear. You can move this around, see if you can make any interesting observations. Maybe you can light them all up and find some interesting observations. What happens when the triangle's obtuse? What happens when it's acute, when it's right, and what happens when it goes equilateral? So make some observations, make a few notes on that, and send it in to me, because this is a big one. It's a lot of fun. All right, I think it's time to shut this one down.